if you could boil down like things everybody stresses about to like the lowest common denominator, like what would you kind of boil it down to? Like simplest way to put something that would sum up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. My natural answer would be desire.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, simplify that just thoughts in general.
Okay. What about thoughts?
Um, just the chatter in allowing yourself to be taken away on these, I don't know, little journeys. Thought can be good or it can be poison.
Yeah, just like attaching to the wrong
Yeah.
thoughts and stuff.
Anything can influence a thought to be good or bad. Once again, it goes to the context of the situation and your interpretation of it. But yeah, it's like that analogy I had before. Just giving something context alone. And that's your thoughts kind of latch onto that. Like you have the picture of flowers. It's all beautiful. There's no captions, just a picture of flowers. Okay, that's very beautiful. Then you have the context of a family was murdered and buried there. It's okay. Those are some devilish flowers. That's haunting.
Right. I think everybody. This is what I was putting down, but I guess I would have remembered this one. But anyway, yeah, I think people kind of somewhat instinctually have just like a filter that everything goes through, and depending on their mindset and their perspective at that particular time, most people just kind of let that filter determine where those thoughts go for them. Like when you're, I guess when you're kind of less conscious, you're more on autopilot, which I guess is more your ego, more being ran by your ego. So you're not taking control over it. You're kind of letting that filter do the same thing, but that filter is ran by your perspective, even just that day or that, however you're feeling at the time. It's ran through your thoughts and feelings. So any information you take in, stuff people say to you, like it's going to go in your mind and it's going to either go like zoop this way or zoop that way, like positive or negative. And when you can take a perspective outside of that, it's like when you can do something about it. And I think problem is people don't realize how much control they can have over stuff. If you were to ask like 100 people if they had a problem with overthinking, how many of them do you think would say no?
Probably none of them.
Right.
Everybody always complains about it.
Right, exactly.
And they can never do anything about it. I can't stop it. It's just who I am.
Yeah, yeah.
There's always excuses.
Yeah, always something.
Those who justify do not convince.
Right. But again, from their perspective, like they don't have the information to give them the awareness that they can change it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just it comes down to you got to make that distinction between your thoughts and feelings. Kind of where we started at, earlier. You have to make that distinction between your thoughts and feelings and the observer of those thoughts and feelings. That's why I always like to just use the example of you can be talking about something and then thinking about something else, or you can be thinking about something and then behind that be thinking about something else.
Yeah.
And once you just like keep following that back, each one is sort of observing the layer in front of it. Like you want to think of you as the one that's aware that you're thinking, that something that knows, you're thinking that there's something going on, just that pure awareness. And I don't know, anybody that can talk and think different things at the same time can is capable of becoming conscious of that.
Definitely.
And once you do that, you're like, oh wait, there's thoughts there. I'm thinking. Like, I know there's thoughts going by. So what's that I that knows those thoughts, that's watching those thoughts going by? And like, once you get a good grasp on that distinction, then you can realize like, oh, okay, maybe I have control over that. Or just even simpler, maybe that's not me. Maybe that's something other, that doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
And that alone, like, once you make that distinction, it can help a lot with overthinking. That, and I think probably one of the biggest problems people have with overthinking is just the amount we distract, like, ourselves as a whole all the time. Mostly, obviously, people like on phones and on Facebook and stuff, and you're just constantly taking in so much information, like, just even scrolling, even stuff you don't realize you're reading, like, you're taking in some kind of information. And like, it's when you were talking about planting seeds, like little thought seeds that grow into thought trains and stuff. When you're like scrolling through Facebook for an hour, you're just planting so many seeds.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
Johnny Appleseed just running through your brain. Yeah. So
seeds for you.
I mean, information is just fuel for your brain. So, yeah, if you're laying there trying to go to bed and you spend however much time scrolling through a bunch of Facebook posts, and it helps me sleep, it takes my mind off stuff, it puts it on like a million other things, and it just sparks so many thought trains, and it's what gets your brain active. And most people don't want to try anything else, try any other way. You just, oh, hey, that was another thing that when we were talking about the things you hear and then not realizing how true they are or whatever.
I feel like I'm breathing into Mike Heavies.
Huh?
I feel like I'm breathing into Mike Heavies. Go on.
I ain't hear nothing. But, like, just breathe. Like, when people say to, like, breathe and stuff.
I'm trying.
Not you. I was gonna say this before you said that, but just like when people just say just breathe and count to 10 or something like that, to make you feel better. Like, I mean, the easiest way to quiet your mind down is to sit there and just breathe and put your awareness on that.
Yeah, just that distraction alone is enough to give you ease. It's like, I don't know, get out and be active, like when you're feeling down. Like, just that alone, activity alone, any hobby really, can get your mind off and focus.
Yeah.
And it's like that artificial meditation and that peace of mind where it's just that happening, where you're a part of it. You're just letting it be. You're not focusing on meditation. You're not in a pose. You're actually taking a part of something and creating and really feeling it.
Right.
Like, that's where your attention goes. You just become in this more relaxed state.
Yeah. And you're focused on...
You're planting those good seeds.
Yeah. And you're focused on, like, kind of one thing. I mean, you could be doing something and then, like, thinking of a bunch of stuff.
But your main thought pattern is on your art.
Yeah. And it's like that. It's like that constant satisfaction where you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying exactly what you're doing while you're doing it.
Exactly.